Welcome to the team, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. Look, as a senior product manager, my goal today is to give you the ultimate onboarding experience in today's explainer. So grab your notebooks, get comfortable, because we're kicking things off with literally the most important lesson you will ever learn in product management. And it's this: the best PMs do not guess. We research. We don't build products based on our own assumptions or gut feelings. We build them based on a deep, undeniable understanding of our users. All right, here is our game plan for today's explainer. We're going to cover 6 core areas. Number 1, stop guessing, start understanding. 2, the what, quantitative research. 3, the why, qualitative research. 4, picking your method. 5, avoiding research pitfalls. And finally, number 6, the secret sauce. Think of this as outfitting your essential PM tool belt.
Let's dive right into Section 1. Stop guessing, start understanding. The stakes of product management.
The stakes in our line of work are incredibly high. The truth is, so many products fail simply because teams build what they think users want, instead of doing the hard work to discover what users actually need. To shift that mindset, we use a brilliant framework called Jobs to be Done. The idea is that users essentially hire our products to accomplish a specific goal. As the classic saying goes, people don't buy drills because they just love power tools, they buy them because they desperately need a hole in their wall. It's the exact same with software. People don't download Spotify just to own another app on their phone. They are hiring it for an entertainment experience or to set a mood. You have to constantly ask yourself, what job is the user trying to get done here?
Now, to really figure out that job, we map out exactly who we're building for using user personas. We get incredibly specific here. Think of this as a fictional but highly accurate representation of our ideal user. Let's call her Sarah. She's a 27-year-old remote freelancer. She needs faster task organization, and she absolutely hates complicated interfaces. Knowing Sarah inside and out and keeping her very real frustrations front and center is what keeps our team relentlessly user-focused. It totally stops us from getting distracted by flashy, unnecessary features that Sarah honestly wouldn't care about. Okay, moving right along to Section 2. The what? Quantitative research, measuring user behavior at scale.
This specific lens focuses entirely on measurable data to tell us exactly what is happening inside our product at any given moment. So picture an everyday scenario on the job. You log in, you check your morning dashboard, and you realize users are abandoning our app right after they sign up. Obviously, you have to investigate. The very first question you need to ask is, what exactly is the scale of this problem? Are we losing a handful of people, or is this a mass exodus?
So you pull up the analytics, and boom, it hits you. A massive 70% of users are abandoning the checkout process. Only 30% actually complete it. That is a glaring red flag. Quantitative data is incredibly powerful because it quickly reveals these massive, undeniable patterns. But, and this is crucial, I want to warn you right now, numbers will reveal the patterns, but numbers alone do not explain human emotions. To gather all this numerical data, we lean on a few core methods. We use surveys to collect structured, rapid-fire responses from a huge group of users. We use product analytics to track real behavior like retention, churn, and overall engagement. We run A/B testing to compare different versions of the product. Testing if a blue sign-up button actually converts better than a green one. And we use heat maps to see literally where users are clicking or not clicking on a page. This data-driven approach is what dramatically reduces our guesswork. Which naturally brings us to Section 3, the why, qualitative research, uncovering the human story. So if quantitative research tells us exactly what is happening, qualitative research is what tells us why it's happening. This is how we get to the human story. To solve that massive 70% drop-off we just talked about, we actually have to get out of the spreadsheets and talk directly to our users. The data says they're leaving, but the qualitative research uncovers the hidden friction. Why are they leaving? Is it a confusing onboarding process, poor navigation? Is there a lack of trust in our payment gateway? You're never going to find those answers just staring at a dashboard. Here is your qualitative playbook. We do user interviews for direct, one-on-one conversations where we can hear real, raw frustrations. We run observation studies, which literally involves just watching how users naturally interact with the product. We use usability testing to measure how easily someone can complete a specific task, like uploading a file or creating an account. And occasionally, we use focus groups for broader discussions. Let me tell you, small usability problems create massive frustration, and just sitting back and watching a user struggle to find a button is the absolute fastest way to spot it. All right, Section 4, picking your method. the classic showdown.
Now, as junior PMs, you're probably sitting there wondering, okay, so which one do I actually use? It's framed as a classic showdown, but here's the secret. The absolute best product managers don't pick sides. They seamlessly combine both. Let's look at them side by side. Qualitative explains the why, relies on a much smaller sample size, and delivers deep emotional insights. Quantitative explains the what, uses a massive sample size, and provides highly scalable insights. You need the wide scale of quantitative just to spot the problem, but you absolutely need the depth of qualitative to actually solve it.
So, what does this look like in the real world? Here is your day-to-day workflow. Step 1, you spot a weird trend or a drop-off in your analytics. That is your quant. Step 2, you go conduct user interviews to find out exactly why they're dropping off. That's your qual. Step 3, you build a fix based on those insights, and then you A/B test that new solution to ensure it actually improves the numbers. And right there, we are looping back to quant. It's just a beautiful, continuous cycle of learning.
Moving to Section 5, Avoiding Research Pitfalls. War Stories from the Trenches.
Okay, time to sit down for a little bit of tough love. Making common beginner mistakes in your research can lead you completely off a cliff. The absolute cardinal sin of product management is confirmation bias. This happens when teams, subconsciously or not, search for data that only supports what they already want to believe. If you fall in love with a specific feature idea, you might only listen to the positive feedback and totally ignore the glaring red flags. The best PMs check their egos at the door. We do not build based on ego, we build based on reality.
Let's fire through a few other major traps you need to avoid. Number 1, asking leading questions. If you ask a user, hey, wouldn't this new feature be super useful? They're almost always going to say yes. Why? Because people naturally just want to be polite. You have to ask open-ended questions instead, like, what frustrates you most about this process? Other huge mistakes include ignoring your smaller niche user segments, only listening to the loudest, angriest users on Twitter, and, as we talked about, over-relying on your analytics without getting the human context behind them. Please burn this golden rule into your brain. What users do matters significantly more than what they say. Sometimes users honestly just can't clearly explain their own problems. They might tell you in an interview that your interface is totally fine, but if you sit and observe them clicking repeatedly, navigating in endless circles, or hesitating for 10 whole seconds before clicking a button, you have found hidden friction. Always, always trust the observed behavior. And finally, we reach Section 6, the secret sauce, the role of empathy.
We have spent this whole time talking about data, observations, workflows, and testing. But none of it matters, literally none of it, without the core mindset that ties it all together. And that is empathy. Knowing the data means absolutely nothing if you don't genuinely care about the user's frustration, their motivations, and their ultimate goals. Take a company like Netflix. They study quantitative watch behavior relentlessly, but they use that data with deep empathy to actually improve content discovery, so you don't feel overwhelmed and exhausted trying to find a movie on a Friday night. Data, combined with genuine user understanding, is what drives truly successful products.
Well, that brings us to the end of our explainer today. I want to leave you with a question to chew on as you really get started here. As you look at the products you use every day and the ones you are going to help us build, I want you to constantly ask yourself, are you building based on your assumptions, or are you building based on their reality? Stay relentlessly curious, stay incredibly user-obsessed, and let's go build some truly amazing products together. Welcome to the team.